I will continue in English again, because now we will have our second special guest, Alexa Joyce.
Good afternoon. It's a great pleasure to be here with you today to talk about future-ready skills and how important it is to support tomorrow's generation in becoming digital creators and not just digital consumers. So I'm the Director for Education Transformation and Skills across Europe, Middle East and Africa, and leading our work with countries across the region in terms of supporting students and faculty and educators in upgrading their skill sets. So firstly, from a Microsoft perspective, we want to ensure that every single person has the opportunities, the skills, the knowledge to succeed in today's digital societies and digital economies. Digital skills are no longer just something that you need to acquire to be successful at work, but they're also critically important as part of the way that we live. And the pandemic has just underlined how important these skills are. I'm sure you've seen during lockdowns in your own country that even businesses that were not digital prior to the pandemic are becoming increasingly digital as they move through the lockdowns. Even in my village, I've seen our local butcher start to move to online ordering and collection, which is not something that they did before the COVID pandemic. So even very traditional areas of work and life have become increasingly digital. And so enabling every single person in our society to have those digital skills is critical to enable participation in society and in the economy. At the same time, we're seeing that the job market is changing, and these skills figures were produced by the World Economic Forum even prior to the pandemic. We see that there's a shift in terms of what the job market looks like. There's less repetitive manual labor jobs out there today than there were in the past. There's a growth in the level of skills required from a cognitive perspective. So we need students who are able to think deeply, to reflect, to be critical, and an increase in the need for social and emotional skills so that our employees of tomorrow and young people graduating from school are able to effectively interact in teams and work together with others in a way informed by empathy and by understanding and intercultural behavior. But those third level of skills, which are really growing the most rapidly, remain those technology skills, which are so important for young people to acquire. At the same time, we're seeing a big shift in the way that young people may be working as they go into the jobs of the future. There is a growing scarcity of that technical talent, as I mentioned before. We're seeing the Uberization of the economy, where jobs are becoming shorter term. They may be project-based rather than long-term career-based. We're seeing more focus on diversity and inclusion as businesses understand that they need a wider variety of perspectives to build effective products and solutions. And at the same time, we're seeing that the value of the technology within products is increasing. So for instance, if you buy a car today, the computer which is in your new car is worth more than the actual value of the physical car itself. So we see this real big challenge that we need to solve. We've got this different economy. We've got an economy in crisis where traditional jobs are being eroded even faster than they were before. We need to upskill dramatically across the education system, and we need to build new partnerships that bring together the public sector, bring together business, bring together schools and universities to come up with new ways to skill young people. We're also seeing that young people themselves are really demanding this kind of skill set. Just recently, we've launched campaigns across Europe to upskill young people and give them free cloud certifications and training. Everywhere across Europe, we have been inundated with requests, with literally 10 times more students applying to join our programs than we can offer. So young people are very, very aware of how much these skills are needed. they want to also be able to acquire these skills in a problem-based approach, and particularly for the traditionally excluded groups from technology, so girls or minorities. They also want to learn about technology in a hands-on way, and they want to understand how technology can be harnessed to solve not just business problems, but also societal problems, like the environmental and climate crisis, like looking at poverty, health, and so on. So one of the key things at Microsoft, the way that we think about enabling upskilling our students, is to think about how do we build that learning culture right from young ages in primary school all the way through to university, bringing in computational thinking, bringing in computer science, science, technology, engineering, and maths topics at young ages, and inspiring young students to get passionate about those subjects. And as students move through their school career, to help them get industry relevant skills, become productive in the workplace, and get ready for graduation and be able to go out there and get a job. And to do all of this, we're aware that we need to continually support faculty and educators to get the skills that they need to be able to teach these very high-tech subjects in new ways which are engaging for students. So building on this, we move through different skill sets and improve and enhance on those skill sets as students go through their academic career, starting off with digital literacy, bringing in 21st century skills like communication, collaboration, and creativity, and then layering on top being able to get into computational thinking, text-based programming, usage of the cloud, technology ethics and data concepts, and layering these over a young person's career at school and deepening their knowledge as they progress. So alongside this journey at Microsoft, we've worked incredibly hard to make available a huge range of programs and tool sets that students and teachers and educators and faculty can use to get into all of these different types of skill areas, starting with very simple, easy to use tools for the youngest students like Minecraft and Flipgrid, all the way through to professional level developer tools, which are available for free for university or technical and vocational students. And so I want to just start off by looking at one of our most exciting products for younger students, which is Minecraft Education. The research has told us that Minecraft is incredibly powerful for helping young people acquire those 21st century skill sets. They need to work together, they need to collaborate, they need to reflect, to be able to build a group project together in Minecraft. And we've also introduced through Minecraft a full set of computer science curriculum so that you can get students coding, using block-based coding, but then moving on to text-based coding in JavaScript and Python as they progress through their coding career. The other thing which I think is really exciting about Minecraft for enabling this type of skills acquisition is that we've modified it so that it's really effective in a remote learning scenario. So even if schools are closed, teachers can actually activate Minecraft to work at distance, have students come together and work online in a safe, school-driven environment in the Minecraft world. And just speaking from my own experience, when I saw my son working together with his friends on Minecraft during the lockdown here in Belgium, it was the moment that he really came alive. You could see that the social connection, the feeling of playfulness, really brought back that connection with his peers in school by being in the Minecraft environment, much more than in a typical distance learning scenario. So it's really powerful for keeping that social glue active in the classroom. And as I mentioned, we've built in these features which enable you to bring in computational thinking through the game-based environment. We've also been working very hard on building partnerships with physical computing providers like the Microbit, and we have complete curriculum that you can use to get students active in hands-on computing. And the research that we've done has shown that students who do this type of hands-on computing project are much more excited and interested in STEM and computer science than those who learn in a more traditional abstract way. And you'll see that we've got some fantastic materials created by Microbit, which enable students to get into solving some really interesting challenges around sustainability, creating digital fashion accessories, all kinds of range of projects which can get young people excited about computing. And because the microbit is so cheap, you can even give it to students to take home. It's very robust. They would be challenged to break it. So you can enable students to take that and use it in home learning scenarios, or use the virtual version of the microbit if you don't want to give them to take home, so that students can continue learning with these remotely. I want to move on to Microsoft Learn, which is the hub that we have for older students. And so once you've got younger students excited about coding, excited about STEM, this is the place that we can bring the older students up to speed in terms of actually becoming able to use professional level digital tools and to start to get into really exciting technologies like AI, using the cloud, creating data-driven solutions, creating no-code apps. And it helps students 16 and up to start to get ready for those professional experiences. It's full of step-by-step tutorials and modules, learning paths with interactive labs, and really easy for students to dig into. And underlying that, we have the Microsoft Learn for Educators program, where your institutions at technical, vocational, upper secondary, or higher education level can register to get support, to get free training and free certification, along with curriculum material that you can use to support your students in gaining those professional level qualifications and experiences that are going to set them up for success on the job market. And we've just done some really fresh, hot off the press research together with the LinkedIn data scientists. And we found that students who are certified using Microsoft certifications available through the Learn program actually have higher salaries when they arrive on the job market than those who don't. So it's a really powerful tool to help get your students really ready for what they need to do when they go into a job. Finally, I want to unveil one of our most exciting and latest tools to support skilling, which is an app which plugs into Teams called Career Coach. It sits on top of LinkedIn Learning and helps students in your institutions to discover their career paths, to get personalized guidance on what they should be studying, and to build their professional network so that they can go on to be successful in their job of choice. So what happens is that the Career Coach app, first of all, asks students about what their kind of expectations are in terms of what job they would like to do. Based on that job role, it analyzes the student's own profile to give them recommendations about what skill sets they need to improve on, proposes them content that comes from LinkedIn Learning, but also from your institution to be able to help skill them up so that they're ready for that specific job profile, and also connects them to alumni who are already active in that profession out there in the job market, so they can start to build their connections to be successful out there in a job, to look for internships, and to segue from studies right through into schooling. So to conclude, I just want to underline we're super excited to have all of these amazing programs and solutions to offer to you to help skill up your students, to get them ready for the future. You can get started with any of them in a really easy and simple way. We've got a series of webinars available for you that you can get trained up on all of these programs. And I would really encourage you to dig into them, get to know what is there to offer, and we'd love to partner with you to help skill up your students to get them ready to be successful in their lives and in their careers. Thank you very much.
Alexa, thank you. We have a question for you from our audience. By the way, very, very important. From your opinion, Alexa, what do you think mathematics and physics, these subjects, they are important for the students' future skills or not? What do you think about it? What is your opinion?
So yes, I would say they're absolutely important. Mathematics is fundamental, I think, to many different career areas, whether you end up in business, whether you end up in science, whether you end up even as a lawyer. Mathematical skills and computational thinking are going to be critically important. And many of the fundamental physics topics are really, really useful when we start to get into those deep technological skills as well. So I think having that fundamental knowledge across the science, technology, engineering, and maths area is always going to set students up for future success.
Okay, thank you. And I have my personal question. It's not about students, because very often we are talking that we have to prepare students for future-ready skills. But what I see that we really have to focus on teacher career development, because if we will have not prepared teachers, it will be much more difficult, you know, to prepare our students. Why we as a Microsoft working with the teachers development? What do you think about, what is your opinion to that? Is this topic important or not?
It's absolutely critical. Without prepared educators, we can't have any hope to prepare students effectively. And at Microsoft, over the last year in the pandemic, we've massively scaled up our teacher training programs in response to teacher demand. We've been training millions and millions of teachers across Europe alone over the last year in getting more used to remote and hybrid pedagogy. And I'm seeing, you know, increased interest among teachers to continue learning and to continue deepening their knowledge base as we go through the new normal post-pandemic as well. I think teachers have appreciated the opportunity to learn at distance because they can work from home and balance it better with the working day. And I expect that type of expectation from the teacher side will continue, wanting to learn at distance, but also to build community with their peers to keep learning from each other as well.
Thank you, Alexa, again. Thank you for your inspired presentation. Let me wish you have a great afternoon and looking forward to see you on the next time. Thank you again.
Thank you.